Hey, what's going on, everyone? Jamie back with another video talking about INFJs. For this video, I didn't want to actually dive into memes and discuss that as a topic. I wanted to actually talk more about more of like a fun thing. I went to ChatGPT, and we currently pay for and use it in our business. And I asked it just a generalized question about INFJs. And I asked it, what are four of the biggest, most important things that would make an INFJ happy? And I got a question about this on what actually drives happiness for INFJs. Now, a little bit of background on who I am. I am not one of those people who deep dives the theory on MBTI or even, Carl Jung stuff. I don't like to be that kind of person who has studied like a 10,000 page history book and knows every little incremental detail about it. I think that's way too overwhelming. And I believe that by studying the theory too much, it can completely stop you in your place from being able to get anything done. Because ultimately, any type of theory we study is designed to help us through a rough time. When our lives are great, we're typically not going to be searching for answers on this stuff. And so I'm choosing to make videos that are a bit more interesting than the typical things that people make. Now, we'll see what happens with that, but I just wanted to give context. So on my screen here, there are four things that the ChatGPT prompt gave back. And it was very generic. But the first one is INFJs are happy when they have deep and meaningful relationships. It goes on to say that INFJs crave genuine connections with others. They value relationships that offer emotional depth and intellectual stimulation. Authentic conversations where both parties can share their innermost thoughts and feelings can be deeply satisfying to an INFJ. So I would say that this is true. And of course, I'm sure all of this is true. It's very generic and vague, and it could be applied to anybody at any point in time. But for the true INFJs here who are watching, deep and meaningful relationships actually matter. Personally, because I like to relate to my own experiences, I have been always looking for genuine connections. I've been looking for people who actually can value my own time, who can reach out to me, who can communicate, and just generally want to see what's going on, checking in, seeing how I'm doing. I typically also like emotional depth. I like having conversations that are a lot more, intense and deep, as the memes say, as the truest speakers on INFJ say. This references intellectual stimulation. I would agree with that too. It's nice having conversations that are a lot more interesting than just general small talk. I've encountered a lot of people who are probably more sensor-based, and they're just really boring to engage with. They are way too in the moment and real. With like the day-to-day stuff, like typical boring news stuff, and they just don't talk about stuff that's way more abstract, kind of like how ENFPs would talk about INFJs, INFPs, ENFJs. Like there's no abstract depth on this stuff on where it goes. It also mentions authentic conversations. I like true people. I like people who are true, or speak truth is what I mean, and don't lie. I don't like narcissists. I've cut out all of those in my life. Very tough to do so. I'll make a video on that too, on how we become victims to that. And the authenticity of this, by having people who can have and hold real conversations, just makes life better. It feels good because we do things based off gut feeling. And it mentions where both parties share their innermost thoughts and feelings. And like I said, it feels good, so it's very satisfying. Let's check out number 2. So this one says purpose and meaning. And this is sort of what I'm working on right now with, personally, I'm creating a journal. I'm creating like a life planner and a daily habit tracker for routines, because I find that if I follow that system properly every single day and know what I'm working towards, with maybe every 90 days, I see, am I working towards a goal? Am I getting there? Am I checking the boxes and actually seeing progression? Am I hitting those markers? Then I will feel more purposeful. I will be getting to what I want. And if I'm not getting there and seeing trackable metrics of, what I'm doing every day, I'm probably not going to feel good. So this says INFJs often seek a higher purpose or calling in life. They want to feel that their actions and efforts contribute to a larger cause or make a positive difference in the world. Side note, this is why you see a lot of INFJs, or they reference that they do a lot of charity work, nonprofit work, because those causes are trying to shift a big narrative. They're trying to work towards something huge. I'm just going to continue reading this. This could be through their career, volunteer work, as I mentioned, or personal projects. For me, I like it when it's personal projects. This page, this channel, is a personal project. I wanted to build a meme page. I wanted to build an interest page, something that's like very topic driven, and I was able to build this out. And now you're watching this because I took the steps to do that. It also says knowing that they are making an impact or helping others can be immensely fulfilling for an INFJ. So when INFJs understand why they're here, what they're working towards, and where they're going, which really just means they have an understanding of what's their plan, what's the strategy, what vision do they see for themselves, what do they want out of life, which can be hard because a lot of INFJs get too caught up in focusing on others. Another video at some point in time. This can block us from getting there. Not going to go into the theory as to why, but it's a good reminder to look at what is it that we want. And because our memory is not so great, we have to remind ourselves of what that is. And this is why it's very important to make sure this stuff is written down. Now, it doesn't have to be in paper. I think paper is the worst thing to write things on because if you lose it, well, you're going to forget it. And so you want to make sure it's digital, it's on the cloud, but you can still write it down. Can't you, think about this for a second. If you write with a pen or a pencil, doesn't it feel better than typing? There's no meaning behind typing. It's too robotic. Writing feels good. It stimulates the brain, I find. And so when we write what we want, we can feel it. And then we go out there and do the thing to attract it and manifest it ultimately, which is what it is. So I think purpose and meaning is the biggest one. That's my big thing. What is it that I'm looking for? What is it that I'm after? And what's the vision? The third one, personal growth and self-awareness. INFJs have a natural inclination towards introspection. They enjoy understanding themselves better, diving into their inner thoughts, and exploring their feelings. Opportunities for personal growth, whether through reading, therapy, meditation, or other self-improvement activities, can be deeply satisfying. They love the journey of understanding and improving oneself. So this is also very true, and I bet that you love this stuff as much as I do. I love to do breath work, meditation, writing, journaling, and just getting my thoughts out on paper. And what's interesting about this is we are always trying to seek answers. We're always trying to figure out what is it that we're feeling because we don't actually have the ability to understand how we feel at a strong rate like others do, which is why it's very key to have other people in our lives who are properly vetted to provide us with the ability to get those answers. They may guide us, support us, help us bridge the bridge the answers to us. And that way we can work on personal growth, understanding ourselves, and figuring out those solutions. Now, this also mentions therapy. I think a lot of people misunderstand therapy. Therapy is a great way to just talk, to voice, to feel, to let out, to explore, to get emotional stimulation from. Talking to someone who is a therapist, and we're not going to dive into the concept of finding the right therapist, knowing who they are, can they actually support me, are they really there doing their job? Because there are good and bad people who, there are good and bad therapists. There's pros and cons to this, right? We don't get along with everybody. But therapy in a nutshell, the whole concept of it is so powerful that it can help us feel better, help us understand better, get answers. Can you admit that in the shower, have you ever taken like a 20-minute hot shower and you're just talking out loud to yourself? You're running through scenarios, you're like pretending you're doing something. If you haven't done that, you should try it. If you've got siblings or a family, then they might think you're crazy. If you're a parent and you're doing it and you're an adult, like I'm turning 32 this year, I mean, it's quite normal, right? We're human. We all do weird things. And to be honest, INFJs are naturally weird. And that's a whole funny topic too. But the concept of self-improvement and doing those activities is so important. Going to yoga classes, going to spas, going to meditation retreats, like doing things that get you out there, as well as doing activities that make you feel good. Stretching, mobility, working out's a big one. Exercise. It might be hard to do it, but the reward after, you feel so stimulated and so satisfying after. So I think 3 is also very true about us. And these first 3 are very generalized. Let's see what the fourth one is. Peaceful and harmonious environments. So INFJs are highly sensitive to their surroundings and the energies of the people around them. A serene environment, free from conflict and chaos, can be crucial for their well-being. They value spaces where they can think, dream, and reflect without interruption. This also extends to their relationships. They appreciate environments where there's mutual respect, understanding, and a lack of needless drama. So this is also very true. This is entirely 150% true. We are highly sensitive to our surroundings and the energies of people around us. If we're around people who are negative, complaining, and, starting conflict, we're going to feel that. We feel that in our gut. That's the gut feeling. And the gut is always right. We just have to be able to understand it, audit it, and respond to it and not get stuck with overthinking. And so that's the big thing that holds us back with that. It also says a serene environment, free from conflict and chaos. Very true. Conflict and chaos can be hard for INFJs. A lot of INFJs are very in their own world. They're very internal. They don't want to get involved with chaos. They want to be more relaxed and I guess, drama-free. These environments, so free from conflict and chaos, can be crucial for their well-being. The other thing is we would value spaces, INFJs would value spaces where they can think, dream, and reflect without interruption. There's a reason why we don't like to go out. There's a reason why we like to sit in silence and just relax and think to ourselves, which is why the concept of INFJs overthinking too much is really not a bad thing. It's just, how much of it are you really doing? And when does it become a problem? Overthinking is not a bad thing. I've learned that pacing, which is what I do a lot when I'm talking and thinking, I thought that was a bad thing. It's a great thing. It helps me process information, feelings, emotions. I love this stuff. And so I think those things are fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Dreaming, very good. It's very good to think of ideas. Where can things go? What are the possibilities, right? Energy is real. It's not just 3D, right? It's just a matter of being able to feel it and explore it. This also extends to their relationships. They appreciate environments where there's mutual respect. We talked about this earlier with depth and meaningful relationships, understanding, so being understood, understanding others, and then a lack of needless drama. We don't like drama. I'm saying this for the 50th time. We don't want people to cause problems. And when that happens, we can handle it. Depending on the maturity of the INFJ, they can handle conflict. They can speak how they feel. If you are having enough experiences in your life where you go through friendship drama, work drama, career drama, personal drama, family drama, if you're learning through these experiences, listening to it, and actually most effectively writing down your thoughts and the outcomes of that and what happened, like the highlights, right? And reflecting on it, you are learning things about this. And this is going to help you get better at it. So when the drama comes, you can recognize patterns, not to assume, but to know what to say. For example, I am engaged to an ENFP. I've become a lot more rational. So when I get into conflict now, I can rationalize a lot more than I used to be able to do because I never was that rational. I was very like, whoa, anything can happen. And that's not a bad thing, but being more rational means you could take information, audit it, process it, and make a better opinion and decision on that based off facts or no facts. And so that leaves us here. We've talked about 4 main reasons as to what can make an INFJ happy. And I think these things are great. Deep and meaningful relationships, number 1. Purpose and meaning, number 2. Personal growth and self-awareness, number 3. Peaceful and harmonious environments, number 4. I like this video format. I'd love to do more of this. If you have any thoughts, comments, or opinions, suggestions, let me know in the comments, and I will check on that from time to time, and I will be making more. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.